Welcome back to GBGuns Armory, where we're going over stuff that has been previously reviewed. That's right, on the main channel I have full reviews of everything you see in this series. These are guns that have been out for a while. I'm looking to get sort of a Reddit thread, if you will, going of discussion on this stuff. Now that it's been out for a while, chances are you've had a chance to experience one or have thoughts that have matured on it. It's not just the new gun hype. Today's episode, we're talking about the IWI Masada. This gun has been one of the more popular guns on the main channel, despite the fact that I wasn't particularly moved by it. No legitimate criticisms. It just was something that didn't really click for me. I didn't feel a groove of it. So, what is it and what makes it special? Well, it is by Israeli Weapons Industries, formerly Israeli Military Industries. You can see it's red dot ready. Beautiful finish on the slide. We've got front serrations, we've got plenty of rail space, texturing on the front of the trigger guard. Decent texture on the grip, not the most aggressive, but it's decent. Interchangeable back straps, ambidextrous controls, and a trigger that is acceptable. It's got some springy weight to it, but a clean break. The reset is definitely spring assisted, kicking your finger forward, right back to that spot for a decent break again. I had no issues. Oh, and another bit, it's even Type 3 malfunction proof. For those who have not seen our video on how to properly clear that, you see this little cutout here is so you can strip a mag away if you are confused on how to clear those malfunctions. A note on that, some people have said that I sound arrogant for the way I describe that. Maybe, but it's also because I've done a video on it at least once. So I know the answer is out there, and rather than lengthen every video where it comes up by explaining those procedures, just go see the video. It's in the Learn Something section on the main channel. I don't like repeating myself on that kind of stuff over and over again. So in shooting this thing, as I recall, it shot pretty well. The only bit that was a little off or odd for me, the sights are set for 25 meters. As a result, the point of aim, point of impact is not dead on at defensive distances where we as US citizens might use it. That can be fixed with aftermarket sights, that can be fixed by slapping a dot on it, or that can be fixed with training. But it was something that I wasn't, even though I'd gone through the manual, I don't think I was aware of it or wasn't thinking of it when we filmed the shooting video. So it was a little frustrating that I was off by a couple inches at just 7 yards, shot after shot. The handling of it was pretty good. No major complaints there. It just, to me, at the time of release and time of review, simply didn't wow me. There was nothing terrible, nothing great. It was just, yes, it's another good gun. I don't know if the wave of enthusiasm behind it was simply because it's an IWI product and they're a brand that seems to have kind of a cultish following, or what the deal was. I believe it's been a moderately successful pistol on the international market. For the amount of views that the reviews got, I would have expected to see more of these guns out in circulation than I do. It's just simply not as common as YouTube would make it seem it is, or at least maybe it's just not in the area where I live and all the courses that I've been to since filming that video. Overall, I still think it's a quality gun. It just didn't necessarily inspire me, and there's nothing wrong with that. We all have our favorites, our pets, if you will, things that just kind of click with us and we enjoy, be it guns or non-guns. And not every item that we have a click with or a bond with needs to be that way. For many people, hunters, law enforcement, military, etc., a firearm is just a tool. It's just part of their job, something that they need to be able to rely on and understand and use. Doesn't have to be cool, doesn't have to speak to them, doesn't have to fit them perfectly. It's just a tool. And considering this was made by Israel's government military arms manufacturing company, they weren't necessarily looking for cool. They weren't looking for that bond. They needed a service weapon, and I think this would be a fine service weapon. No qualms about it. Otherwise, 17 round magazines allows for a full grip because it's effectively a full-size-ish gun. Maybe a little bit on the mullet side. The barrel's not quite a full-size barrel length, depending on the standards that you go by, but that makes for a little bit quicker draw, if you believe that. To me, draw speed has more to do with how quickly I can index my hand and get a good grip on the thing, so I'm not fumbling and shifting it on the way out to during presentation. But overall, not a gun I would deter anyone against. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It just was something that didn't wow me. And as I've said, I don't think it's a bad gun. I don't want to discourage anyone from it. It just, to me, didn't. I don't know. Maybe it deserves being taken to the range again. I have so much faith in the gun, and yet so little passion for it, that during the chaos crunch that happened 2020 through 22, when there are no guns anywhere, I took some guns that I just had zero feeling for. I took a pile of them down to the local shop that has always been great to me. I wanted to help them still have some inventory, and I wanted to help folks who needed a firearm find a firearm. And so I consigned a pile of guns that I just wasn't in love with anymore, and consigned them at their original price. No crazy chaos time markups. Just wanted to help that gun shop stay open and help folks find guns. This was to be in the next batch of those, which I never took down there because something about this makes me not want to quite let it go. I'm sure some of you watching are huge fans of this. I'm sure there are also some who haven't tried it yet. Let me know what your thoughts are on the IWI Masada. We've wanted to try the Masada Slim. Had lots of requests for it. It just, neither of us are super big into the micro compact game, and IWI in the US hasn't bothered to contact us about doing a review on one. So, with the hundreds of guns that are already out there, we've just focused on other things in the meantime. If you'd like to see a Masada Slim video, consider becoming one of our patrons. The patrons are the ones who fund purchases, and they are also the ones who help us decide which to do next. So currently, about quarterly, we get to put up votes and see what people want. That's when the patron funding has reached a point where I can go buy something. Of course, I still end up kicking in my own cash on most of them. But yeah, so join the Patreon if you want some control on this. If you're interested in seeing the Masada Slim. But let us know in the comments section what your thoughts are on the Masada. Am I wrong? I mean, to me, I'm right. But we're all entitled to our own opinions, and just because something doesn't necessarily speak to me doesn't mean that it won't speak to you. That's why our review format is so boringly predictable on the main channel. It's set up that way with those protocols, not tests, but a protocol to the range experience to ensure that personal bias has very little place in the review. There have been guns that I'm sure you guys have seen where Ms. T and I weren't really in love with it, but the performance on the range was still spectacular. It was a good gun, just didn't work for us. I think that's where the Masada fits in. Maybe we'll take it out. Maybe we'll slap a dot on it this time and give it another try. It was one of the, as it seems to me, one of the earlier standard duty guns that came red dot ready, as I recall. And now we've got some dots, and since the review is complete, maybe we'll dot it and take it back out to the range. Let me know what you guys would like to see, and thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.